Thank you. Thank you very much. And we now invite the Reverend Natalie Dixon-Monu to bring the message.
I've come here today to not share my story of my ministry, but to share with you your story of your mission. As a congregation, over many years, you have contributed funds to the mission, Boroondara Community Outreach, and I'm here to share with you the story of the impact that your generous donations continue to have in the lives of the people that we support. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint very quickly to show you all of the kind of different things that we do at BCO. But before I do that, I want to say one thing. We're very clear at BCO that we are a mission of the church. We are the church. We're not a community services agency. While you will see that we do similar things to some of the agencies that you might know about, whether it's Uniting or Anglicare or whatever name they might come under. It's really important for me to stand here as a minister of the Uniting Church and to be very clear that the framework through which we do these things is a theological framework. It's not a community services framework. And it's important because those frameworks are often actually sit sometimes at the opposite ends of the spectrum. A community services agency will use words like client and consumer, referring to the people who come to them for support. We're very clear that when people come to us at the church, they are not clients and they are not consumers. They are first and foremost and always people. People who have a name, people who deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. They're not people that we do things to, they are people that we create things with. And one of the things that we do is it's really important for us to tell people that we are wanting to create community with them. It gets rid of an us and them model that we're the professionals who have all of these things and we do it to you over there. Instead, we're a space where we all come together because at the end of the day, we're all human. And we create, I think we create together a beautiful community space. So while we might do things like offer food relief, what we're actually offering for us is hospitality, the hospitality of God. When people come to our tables, they come to the table of God to be fed, where we break bread together, not just hand food to somebody who hasn't got any food. So let me share and do a quick whiz through of all the stuff that we kind of do. This is a quote from somebody and it really summed up. One of our people said, "When I turned up here, I discovered a community to belong to, not an organisation that provides a service, and these two things are very different, and that's what makes this place unique." The kind of people who come to us seeking support are generally people who are on Centrelink payments, so they're low income. Some people might not be on a Centrelink payment but are only part-time workers or casual workers, and some come who have no income because they're refugees or they're waiting for a payment of Centrelink to kick in. In this last financial year, 41% of the people who came to us were families, often single mothers, a quarter of them who were escaping family violence. And 20% of the people we supported were children, which has been a really big shift for us. Maybe 6 years ago, we would have had a very small percentage, and now they make up 1/5 of the people that we support. 55% of the other people are singles, and most of those singles are often people with a diagnosis of a chronic mental illness and they live on a disability pension. So there's 4 ways in which we support people. We have our community hub and our lunch. We do our food relief and crisis supports. We provide individual supports, and then we have groups and social activities. That's Keith putting his thumbs up to our pancake day on Shrove Tuesday. Our community hub, we have 3 lunches a week, hot lunches that are cooked on site by our amazing volunteers. People can come and access the Wi-Fi, print off forms, get help with forms. They might want to make a phone call. It's just a place for people to drop in and have a chat. somewhere to stay cool, somewhere to keep warm, somewhere to hang out, because a lot of these people are very socially isolated. And we have somebody donated a recliner chair, and we were going to give it away, but we found it sits in our back room, and it's now been called the crying chair. And it's where people come when they're not in a good space and they just sit and have a bit of a cry. Our food relief, we support about 200 people a week who come and access for food. We hand out over 400 meals each week that are cooked on site, and they're really good meals, like, lasagnas and spaghetti bologneses, and we hide as much veggies in there as possible. We get a lot of donated twice a week fresh fruit and vegetables from Q Woolworths and Q Toscanos, and I think in this last year it's like a couple of thousand crates of fresh produce that we're able to give people to cook for themselves. We do non-perishables, toiletries, nappies, everything really that gets donated to us. It comes in and it goes out pretty quick. There's some of our volunteers cooking in the kitchen. These two ladies actually belong to Manningham Uniting Church. We provide a whole bunch of crisis supports. We work with other organisations who give us some funding. So this funding often comes through, a large part of it comes through Hawthorn Community Chest and Inner East Community Support. So we're able to provide clothing and bedding and furniture. We do educational grants that provide for kids' school books and laptops, medications, medical costs, petrol vouchers, everything and anything. We have homelessness supports that are specific for our prime rough sleepers on the streets, sleeping bags, and in particular, really important, our laundry facilities for them to be able to wash their clothes and dry. Individual supports, we pretty much do everything and anything, from attending appointments to people to advocating at Centrelink. We help people when their bills are overdue to go on payment plans, lots of hugs, lots of listening ears. We pretty much broadly support people with a whole broad of things. Legal issues, helping people to get off parking fines or getting them in contact with lawyers through the community legal services. That top right-hand corner was actually a newborn that I had to go to the hospital and pick up the mum and her newborn baby because she didn't have a way of getting home. So delightful things like cuddling cute little babies is one of the lucky things I get to do. That's an indication, though, of the social isolation that the vast majority of the people we support, in that they don't have family that they can call to pick them up from the hospital when they've just given birth. I end up being next of kin for a lot of people because they don't have anyone that they could name. We run a lot of groups. This is the fun part of what we do, our art group, our Tai Chi, our band, our ukulele, our choir. We just had an art exhibition in 11 businesses and organisations in the Kew Hawthorn area that allowed us to put up 75 pieces of work that were converted onto decals on their shop windows. 10 of our artists displayed that, and it was amazing. Every time I drove past, somebody was taking a photo, so it was nice to be able to celebrate their incredible talents. We do lots of social events. So on the left-hand side, some of you might know David Rush. That's him dressed as Not-So-Little Red Riding Hood. So we did a big pantomime. That's my husband down the bottom there with one of our homeless guys at our pirate sea shanty night. Up the top's one of our Christmas parties, and on the other side is a dance. So we just have a lot of fun where we can, because it's really important about having opportunities to create joy where people can live life abundantly. Christmas is a really difficult time for people. That's when that social isolation really kicks in, and we have a Christmas party which, as of last year, is no longer in our church hall because the council have graciously now given us their spot at Leonda on the Yarra. So we now go to Leonda on the Yarra for our Christmas party and have a beautifully served 3-course meal, and it was just, people were like, I can't believe it, I've never been to a place like this. So the council have just been fantastic, and they said it's ours every year now because it's part of their contract with Leonda. So now we have our Christmas party down there. Christmas Day, we always do a lunch because there's a lot of people at a loose end on Christmas Day. So we gather together with my family and with other volunteers and sit and eat together. And one of the important things that we do is each year we do Christmas hampers, and last year we did 614 Christmas hampers, of which all of the contents are completely donated from the broader community. And these hampers, some of the hampers we also do to people who are in the psychiatric ward during Christmas, and it's not uncommon for me to get text messages, particularly from people in the hospital on Christmas Day, saying it was such a beautiful surprise to receive a hamper where it said that somebody was thinking of me on this day. So that's one of our really big traditions. Every year I think, I don't know if I can do it again, but somehow we manage to get it done. So that's a bit of a whirlwind of some of the, it's probably not all, but most of the things that we do at BCO. And so through your generous support of funds, you have enabled us to do this, which means that you have fed people when they were hungry. You've given a cup of tea to people when they were thirsty. You've clothed people when they were cold. You bought medication for people and paid for them to see a doctor when they were sick. You have welcomed them and made them feel loved when so many others in society have judged them and rejected them. And you didn't discriminate despite the fact that they had spent time in prison. So thank you so much for your support, because since being here last time, in the last couple of years, we've seen a massive increase in the numbers of people coming and seeking support, because the cost of living has really pushed people to the brink. They were already low income, and the cost of living means now they've been pushed into a corner where daily we have families having to make decisions between whether they buy food or whether they buy a piece of clothing or whether they pay for a kid's excursion. It's a very difficult position for them to be. Before I finish up, I wanted to just share with you a few texts that I received recently from people who come to BCO for support, because they express to you the incredible impact that this mission has in people's lives. BCO is where I found peace when I needed it most. It's where I cried quietly, prayed loudly, and even celebrated Diwali and Puja right here. This place gave me hope, calm and light when everything else felt uncertain. It has been my home away from home. Natalie, you gave me another life when I thought I'd lost mine. You've been there through every high and low, holding me together with your strength and love. BCO, you are my proof that love, faith and second chances truly exist. Sometimes miracles don't look like lightning bolts, they look like this church. Thank you for making me feel no longer in the world. You are the God in my heart. For the first time in my life, I now know that when I start to drown, someone is there to pull me back up. I didn't know this kind of love until I met you. Thank you for your support. You have truly lifted us up out of a very dark place. So thank you again for your generosity. Yep.
Natalie, on behalf of all of us here and those members of Toorak Uniting Church that aren't here, we thank you and we thank God for you and the mission that you are doing. And please extend our thanks to your community from all of us. Can we thank Natalie? Thank you. The beauty of brokenness. the kinds of mission that makes life worth living, we give thanks. Our next hymn is 690, Beauty of Brokenness.